What is up, everyone? Welcome back to First Look. I'm just me. I have been absolutely buried in new releases this week. But one game just crashed the party and demanded our attention immediately. Sony dropped a nuke during their last state of play. Out of absolutely nowhere, I got God of War, Sons of Sparta. The rumors of a 2D God of War Metroidvania have been swirling for ages, and then, boom, it's just there, a full-blown shadow drop. And this isn't just some little side thing. This is a full-throated, glorious return to the chaos of the Greek saga. They even brought back the legend himself, T.C. Carson, the original voice of Kratos, to narrate. We are talking about a young Kratos, long before the Blades, before the family tragedy, back when he was just a hot-headed Spartan in training.
Nothing compared to yours. I was lucky you showed up.
This is a co-op project between Sony Santa Monica and MedCat Studios, and it's both exactly what I wanted and nothing like I expected. It's a handcrafted 2D Metroidvania with a gorgeous, detailed art style that reminds me of something like Blasphemous. But the heart? That's pure God of War.
Except maybe the glory of Sparta.
It blends a relentless, tank-like combat to the original trilogy with a few smart systems from the newer Norse games. And the core of the story? It's all about the bond between Kratos and his brother, Deimos. You might remember him from the deep-cut PSP classic Ghost of Sparta. If you know, you know. It's a spin-off of a spin-off, and yet it feels like a missing piece of the puzzle. The big question is, does it work? The pedigree is undeniable. But is it a great God of War game? Is it a great Metroidvania? We've been glued to our screens ever since it dropped last night, and we're here to give you our first, spoiler-free impressions. Fair warning, this game is way bigger than we thought. It starts small and then the map just explodes. So, think of this as our journey in progress, captured on a PS5 Pro, with no story spoilers in sight. Alright, let's get to it. So far, we're genuinely impressed. The pixel art, while maybe a little too clean in spots, is saved by the sheer creativity of the world. You're not just trudging through generic caves. One minute you're in a sun-drenched Spartan field, the next you're in a shadowy temple with jaw-dropping backgrounds. They put in the work to make this world feel alive and diverse. And the combat, it feels like God of War. Enemies are sponges, orbs fly everywhere when you land a hit, and Kratos is an absolute unit. Death comes from 1,000 cuts, not 2 lucky shots. You've got a solid health bar from the start, which is refreshing. But here's the cool twist. There's a new mechanic called the Spirit Strike. It lets you drain health from enemies, but it costs spirit energy. So you're constantly juggling, using basic attacks to build spirit, then spending it to heal or break enemy defenses. It adds this awesome risk-reward layer to every fight. You've got your dodge, your block, and a parry that feels ripped straight from the modern games with that satisfying clang. And yes, when you smash a pot, all those classic orbs, health, magic, rage, fly right into you. It's pure nostalgia. You unlock tons of moves and skill trees with those red orbs, but the biggest surprise is how much they borrowed from the Norse games for the upgrade system. You rest at camps, you visit blacksmiths, you craft and swap weapon parts. The menus are almost a 1:1 recreation. And honestly, there's a lot to manage. Resources, stat boosters, weapon parts, collectibles, it can feel a little overwhelming. But the game doles out the tools you need to find this stuff at a steady pace, so progression always feels rewarding. The flow is classic Metroidvania. Unlock a new sub-weapon in the temple, use it to smash enemy faces and open new paths. But it's wrapped in that modern God of War pacing. You're guided by a story, you clear an area, and then you loop back with new abilities to find all the secrets. And surprisingly, that story works. The idea of a young Kratos training montage could feel pointless. We know how this ends, right? But they actually got us invested. They are weaving in Spartan history and culture in a way that feels authentic, kind of like what Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown did with Persian myth. It's not just Zeus and Ars. It's deeper than that. So yeah, the foundation is solid, but it's not perfect. Let's talk about the rough edges. First, while the art is generally great, some screens just lack that extra punch of personality. I'm glad it's not just another Hollow Knight clone, but a more striking visual identity could have made it unforgettable. That said, the animations are top tier. Seeing classic monsters like the Minotaur perfectly translated into 2D, chef's kiss. I'm a sucker for that OG nostalgia. If this is all just a ploy to get us hyped for the rumored God of War Trilogy remaster, it's working.
Ranging was only permitted for those within Iron's Pass.
How do you get one of those?
The biggest issue so far is the stiffness. The controls aren't as tight as they need to be. There's a weird delay when you try to jump after dodging. Wall jumps feel clunky and unresponsive. For a genre that lives and dies by its buttery smooth movement, these moments of awkwardness really stand out. It makes some boss fights artificially harder than they should be. Here's hoping for a patch to smooth this out, because when you're just blocking and striking, it feels great. It just needs that Dead Cells or Symphony of the Night level of fluidity. But the positives are stacking up. The enemy variety is solid, the challenge is just right, and the story is intriguing despite its prequel baggage.
Sir, my brother inside already?
Yes.
And can we talk about the music? They brought in Bear McCreary, the composer from the Norse games, and the soundtrack is epic. It seamlessly blends those huge orchestral scores with more melodic, almost retro-inspired exploration tunes. It shouldn't work, but it does.
Sir.
It's natural, it's cool, and it's easily one of the best parts of the
And
experience.
control your brother. The city grieves. Last thing it needs is his enthusiasm.
So, where does that leave us? Honestly, God of War, Sons of Sparta is a well-crafted, thoughtful game. The puzzles are fun, the exploration is rewarding, and the world is mostly a treat. But it lacks that
You
one
have training.
big, flashy
See to
hook.
it.
That Iron's Pass went to the right Spartans.
It doesn't open with a bombastic set piece. It's not
You're
trying to
forgetting you're like
scream for
Curtis.
your attention. It's
Spartan
surprisingly
strength whispers.
chill.
Boasting
It's like the low
shouts
Fi
into
beats of God of
It's not
War.
boasting if
It
we
lets
did
its solid mechanics and good art speak for
That makes it more
themselves,
simple.
which is a very odd thing to
Just
say
show
about a
some humility in
franchise
front of the
known for
sculptor.
rage and spectacle. There are definitely tighter, more innovative Metroidvanias out there, but as a thoughtful, surprisingly large 2D love letter to the God of War universe, there is so much to like here. Hardcore fans, I'm curious how you'll feel. It leans into the tone of the newer games, but it's packed with old-school callbacks. And in some spots, Kratos is actually kind of nice. Is that allowed? It adds layers to a character we've known for 2 decades, and I think that's pretty cool. Alright, after a week of non-stop videos, this Spartan is going to bed. Thanks for watching. I'm just me. I'll see you in the next one. That's your first look. Pros, cons, and our honest early take. But now we want to hear from you. Did you drop everything to play this the second it launched? Are you deep in it like us? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to keep talking God of War with us, hit that like button. It seriously helps us out.